Cool. Hello everyone and welcome to Safe Space Racing. Tonight we are at China for round 6 of our season here at SSR, more specifically SSR Tier 1, and I'm delighted to say that for once in Tier 1 we've got a pretty full grid tonight, and I'm even more delighted to say that alongside myself, Bascom62, I've got a fellow Tier 2 driver in Formula Maxim. Maxim, can you believe that we've got another call up 6 in a row in the commentary booth? How are you feeling? Have you finished your cheddars?
Yep, I'm all good.
Is there?
Yep. I'm thrilled to be back. Got the call up. Hopefully all goes smooth. Ultra in the chat saying we're in for all dry sessions. So
yeah.
dry.
I don't know about you, but I'm gutted about that.
I am. I did want a little throwback to Tier 2 last year with a safety car because of the rain, but we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, it's. I mean, what it does give is a good opportunity for these guys to show off their true pace around here. But a mid-race monsoon would have been nice. We're going to try and do a little bit better on quali than last week because that was what we missed out a touch on. So we're just going to have a look at VRT Warman, and that's probably pronounced horrifically wrong. But he is first out on his debut, making his debut this week for SSR. He's a full-time driver for the AlphaTauri, replacing FRA Formula, who are all really gutted to see go. Yeah, Warman is about to come around and start his first flying lap. And surprisingly, I don't know about you, Max, I'm surprised to see a lot of guys out on soft tyres.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one strategy-wise at China. I mean, we did full distance championship there the other night, and it's just so intense on some of these tyres. But I just think they're so quick in this tier; they can make up for any strategy, really.
Yeah, we're seeing SSR Hamilton back in the good to see him back in the racing action tonight after a couple of weeks out. He's the only one currently on an outlap on medium tyres. We've got a few guys in the pits that are on medium tyres yet to commit to that. Kings is also out on track on the medium. So, I mean, it's certainly the quickest strategy on paper. It allows you to do that one stop, and if they know it's going to be all dry, I am surprised as we see Wyman go unsurprisingly purple in sector 2. He gets a little bit out of shape around the first corner of sector 3. He's going to be the first one across the line in a moment. But yeah, just surprised that we see so few drivers on the medium tyres. But let's see what times they're going to do. It does mean that we're going to have a very, very spicy qualifying session. Times, last year's pole time I think was a 1:29.8 by GDM. Do you reckon we could see a low 29 today?
Yeah, I mean, I think in most of the tiers people have been shaving off and beating current records, so yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I reckon a mid 29 would be. Oh well, yeah, there we go. I mean, that's the bar
yeah.
high there.
VRT Wyman, we obviously don't know his pace because it's his debut. 1:29.4. $10 we know is quick. 1:29.7. And wow, I tell you what, looking at that early time, considering we've still got the likes of Axe and Boss Cookie in this race. As Boss Cookie, we switched to him 1:28.876. I was actually just about to say, could we see a 1:28? And we've seen it within 5 minutes of a session starting. Boss Cookie, who as Bone correctly points out in the chat, is in the wrong car.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop him going quickest, 1:28.876, and that's a hell of a benchmark.
I'll be impressed if even Boss Cookie can beat that. I reckon it's one of those. It just worked.
You think he's nailed it early on?
Maybe that Racing Point somehow handles better than the usual Alpha. I mean, you never know. That is impressive.
Strategy, it worked for him. We're going to see Division cross the line now. He can only do a 1:31.7 on the soft tyres. King's a 35.1. He's going to be disappointed to have not made the most of that soft tyre run. And we're going to see Hamilton. We cut to him on his medium tyre run, and he is spun at turn 6 at the start of sector 2. Got on the power a little bit too early. That's his medium tyres ruined as he goes through the gravel.
Ultra has
so we're seeing the guys on the medium tyres struggle early on here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just think they can make up the ground in the race, but Ultra's just not too long started a lap. He's had a couple lockups, and the mediums aren't going all that well in quali.
No, let's have a look at Ultra. We did say last week in Japan, and we've seen it all season. Ultra does like a lockup, doesn't seem to slow him down too much, but when you've got 90% of the field on soft tyres, there's not really much point in being out there on mediums, I guess, is it? Everyone's sort of forcing each other to be on soft tyres, because if you're going to do a lap on the medium tyres in quali right now, you're not going to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're going to be quicker than these guys on mediums. So the fact that so many people, as Ultra looks for a slipstream there on SSR Hamilton, the fact that so many of these guys are on softs is just forcing, I think, everyone by the end will just do a soft tyre run, which is great for us, but means we're going to see not much difference in strategy, but we might see a couple of guys starting at the back who will come through the field on an alternate strategy. As Ultra Titan goes wide, surprised he didn't invalidate there, but he does set a 1:31.6 on the medium tyres. Kings did a second lap on his medium tyres, and he's up to 5th, which I think he'll be happy with.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Mitch, who's too long started a lap on the mediums, in the McLaren.
Yep.
Yeah, might be a glitch, but it's saying he set a purple first sector, which I highly doubt is the case.
I wish we could trust the game, but I've actually got him on medium tyres on the screen. It says soft tyres on the left hand side, but I don't know if you've got him on mediums as well.
Yeah, I've got him on mediums. Yeah.
That's a nice little another glitch on the left hand side. So Mitch again on the medium tyres. We've got a few guys in out on the mediums. King's in P5, might be up there. Bones saying softs are going to last 4 to 5 laps. Don't have to be top 10 on the mediums.
Yeah.
No, you can obviously choose to settle for outside the top 10, and it wouldn't surprise me if a few of these guys think that's the better strategy. Yeah, Mitch we're going to see come around the final corner here. Tough corner to get right, and actually I think the toughest corner of this track, I don't know about you, is actually this last corner.
The track limits, you've got to be, in quali you're pushing, and you're talking millimetres here with track limits.
As Mitch makes it look fantastically easy there, and he goes P4, that's a great lap, 1:30.8 on the medium tyres, so maybe we are going to see a couple of these guys make their way into top 10. and I think Husky is the next one who's going to cross the line. He's just come around sector 1. We've got a couple of reserves tonight. GOC BMARS and Division are the 2 reserves, and like we said, VRT Whammon in the Alpha Tauri, currently P2 on his debut tonight. So we've got a few guys who we're going to keep an eye on there. So I think it's going to be gone.
BMARS is struggling a bit on those softs. Got a bit loose before that long back straight, DRS zone. Got a bit wide. So
yeah, fair play to BMARS. Always happy to step in any tier. And even when he knows that the tier 1 guys are probably that little bit faster, but he's very consistent, a very clean driver, and whoever he's reserving for can be confident he might get a couple of points for him as Husky comes around the penultimate corner, and then we're going to see him come up to his final corner. We've already talked about how difficult it is. Mitch made it look very easy a few seconds ago, and Husky the same, but doesn't keep his speed up too much, but does go P3, so must have done something pretty well there on that lap. 129.650.
Currently got 4 drivers that are currently quicker lap time than the pole time last year. That's really impressive.
Yeah, these guys are flying. Ultra Titan's going to go again on the medium tyres. He's coming off the final corner now. We've got a yellow flag slightly in front of him. One of the Ferraris has spun, I think.
Just wanted to say Stenner's doing his usual, staying nice and cozy in the pits, maybe waiting for that track to evolve, go out and get a nice medium lap in.
Yeah, it didn't seem to work for him last week in Japan, if we're being honest.
Yeah, you
who have we got possibly next to settle that? CZ's going to pit, I think. Oh no, CZ's going to go again. TTM CZ, let's see what he can do on the medium tyres. Goes up to P11, 131.3. A lot of these guys now coming around for their second runs. And then we've got the Alpha Tauri of Maestro. Come around the penultimate corner.
Guys are just set a lap on the mediums, a 131.445. Not bad at all.
No, a Maestro jumps all the medium runners. He jumps up 1 spot, but P5 for Maestro, struggling to score too many points so far after making the jump from Tier 2 last year, and the late call up as well to Tier 1 after Kroll backed out due to not being able to commit to it. So just starting to find his pace a little bit. P5 so far as $10 gained a couple of attempts as well. He jumps up from 4th to 3rd for 129.583, and I think we're going to see Zampa cross the line next. And we are, and he goes P5. He said he struggles right around this track, but P5 is a good lap time for Zampa.
Hooked it up well. Really interesting, Stenner's tactics here. You sort of take your 18-minute quali and you turn it into a sort of a one-shot quali scenario here. Don't quite understand. It'd be worth talking to him about, I reckon, what the logic is.
Yeah, we need him on the podium.
Would be nice to see.
Currently only 2 points so far this season for Stenner. It was so quick, and I remember when we came back from, we had a couple of weeks off at Christmas at the start of the year, at the end of Tier 2 Season 1, and he came back from that little break. He was so quick, and him and Ultra Titan really improved their pace, and he's just struggled. I think he's gone to no traction this season, and he just seems to be struggling for that bit of consistency. Been involved in a couple of incidents that I don't think were all his fault either. Just the sort of things that when it's not going for you, you can't seem to catch a break.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple people battling for track position here. 10's going into the pits. Who have we got coming around here for a lap?
Yeah, I've got Craig Conley and an Alfa Romeo right behind him.
Ultra
Conley's on a lap.
starting. Ultra now giving it a shot on the soft tyres. This is going to be one to watch, I reckon.
Yeah, we're seeing Craig Conley right now come around, just goes a little bit deep into the hairpin at the end of a long straight. Boss Cookie gets out of the way well, and Conley, you see the slight difference there between the guys at the top of this tier and the guys in the middle as Conley goes P7. Conley doesn't take as much of the inside curve of that last corner. Doesn't seem to have just as much, he might have just missed his turning point slightly, but just doesn't seem to have as slightly much confidence to cut that final corner. We're seeing Ultra tight enough to battle through traffic.
Yeah, definitely tries to play it safe a bit there. Ultra, haven't seen any errors from Ultra so far. This could be a little bit of a twitch there.
Yeah, so that's another tough corner. Bone, I've allowed that message because you've gone for a prediction there. And for some reason, Warman's name was not allowed by Twitch, but we've overridden it. And Bone says that Warman will murder Cookie. I don't know if that means in pace or you think he's going to take him out at turn 1. Hopefully it's the former. But currently the gap is 0.3 of a second in Cookie's favour. So we're going to see Titan then come around the final corner on the soft tyres.
Got it fine there. You know,
yeah, he did that on his first run as well.
There was nothing in that. Wow. If that was me, that would have been invalidated. Guarantee it.
Let's go on board with then. We've got a little bit of a lull while we wait for the guys to come up for their next run. Let's go on board with TTM CD. He's just about to start a lap. So let's go on board with him for his whole lap. And let's see how these tier 1 guys negotiate this China circuit. Maxim, I don't know if you want to take us through it.
I'm on B Mars at the moment.
You're on B Mars? Okay, well, we're on CD on the stream. He's just going round, that's fine. He's going round turn 3 right now. Going to see what his sector 1 time is after an initial run on the medium tyres. He's currently on the softs and he's unsurprisingly 6 tenths quicker as he nails turn 6 and then gets a little bit early on the power, but nothing wrong with that. 6 tenths quicker. He needs to find 2 seconds really if he's going to get up amongst the front runners in this McLaren. And a little bit deep there through the technical part of sector 2, but that looks pretty hooked up to me through there.
Ooh. He says that is
as he invalidates and runs wide. The commentator's curse is very, very real. And who are we watching? We're going to flick up to Jet Atom, who's currently on a lap and coming up to the final corner.
Nice.
And he goes P6. A lot of these guys improving, but can't get close to the top couple of guys. And yeah, like Bone Apple says, big gap between P6 and P5. The top 5 are really stretching out across the field, and good to see $10 in there. He's had a great start to the season. And someone's had a great start to the season, but not a great start tonight is Axe. He's just come around on the end of his outlap. He currently leads the championship, but currently down in P15, and he's on the medium tyres as well on his next run. So he's committing to that medium tyre strategy. Let's see what he can do. And Stenner is out for a lap. He's currently on an outlap. So this is going to be a very busy 1 minute and a half, and we're going to try and keep an eye on it as much as we can. Who are you seeing right now, Maxim? I'm
on board with Stenner. He's just currently trying to avoid traffic here. Looks like people are jostling for position. But
yeah,
this
busy
could
on
get a bit
track right now.
interesting.
If you look at the track map on the right hand side, a lot of as Axe gets it all wrong. Where was that? Out of turn 6, and similar to what Hamilton did, avoids the spin, but his lap's ruined. So Axe is not going to improve. He's going to be well down as we're seeing Zampa start his lap. So Axe is going to be well down, our championship leader. We're going to see Jet Atom go into the pits. He's done. Mitch is done. So let's keep an eye on Boss Cookie then. He's currently 0.06 of a second up on his time so far, and looks a little bit out of shape through sector 2 as well. Let's keep an eye on his sector 2 time. You called it early, Maxim. You don't think he's going to improve, and the timing screen's not giving us a great indication there.
Yeah.
Of what he's doing.
Sector there, by the looks of things. I wonder
this is the battle. Warman v Boss Cookie, and $10 currently on a lap as well.
I wonder if there's any action going to be taken against the fact that he's in the wrong car here. I don't think there's, it's equal cars, but
yeah,
There's slight.
Oh, we'll have to see. Oh, and there's action on the track because Boss Cookie gets on the power far too early out of the hairpin. He's round. He's definitely not improving. So that leaves the door open for the likes of Warman, $10 and Husky. Warman's going to be the next to cross the line. And he's 2 temps up on his time. He's currently purple in Sector 2. Let's go on board with the AlphaTauri on his debut as he heads down the long back straight. He's currently on possibly for pole if he can make another couple of attempts up in these last few corners. Husky can't improve. He's P4.
Got a nice little toe straight there.
Yeah, but Hamilton is on a lap as well, so he's not going to get out of the way. But like you said, does get a toe. One more corner to go. A little bit slidey out the hairpin. Oh, that's wise. Oh, he doesn't validate. Oh, and it wouldn't have been enough anyway. A 129.0 we see in the top right. Hamilton jumped up to P6. So good stuff from him.
Kings P4. P5.
And immediately jumped by $10 who goes P4. So Kings P5, good improvement from him. CT's invalidated. Stenner P13 on the mediums, 130.457. And that is that, unless Budweiser fancies an improvement, but he doesn't because he's well down. And that was that. I think we managed to keep an eye on that pretty well. A few late improvements, but you called it very early on, Maxim, that top two stayed the same for the last 13 minutes of that session.
That's a really impressive time, Boss Cookie. Just if you can transfer that pace into the race. I don't want to say any more. But
yeah, well, we saw that Warman went slightly wide at the last corner, obviously invalidated, did improve by a couple of attempts. So it suggests to me that Warman is very close to Boss Cookie's time, but Boss Cookie, if he can get out in front, then he's going to have a fun time here. He's already won from pole once this season in Spa. It's his third pole position of the season, which, bear in mind, he's missed a race. And we've only had 5 races before this. He's very, very good in qualifying. That is for sure, Boss Cookie. And he gets that bonus point. And we'll run through the grid in just a moment. Ultra Titan saying the worst position possible. And I cannot disagree with that. Because he is in P10. He's going to have to start on the soft tyres that are used soft tyres. And the likes of Zampa and Monkey just behind him get free choice of tyres. And that's going to compromise him. You can see there's that gap between Zampa and Titan, just 0.02 of a second, and that could be a big difference in the race.
Definitely. Free tyre choice is a big advantage here.
Yeah, I should say, just as we look at the grid, big improvements at the end from Hamilton and Stenner. We called out Stenner's strategy a touch. He went late on the medium tyres, committed to strategy, certainly left no time for changing it, but he's P13 on the mediums, not a bad lap from him. Boss on pole in the Racing Point, but is actually the Alfa Romeo, 128.8, great lap from him. VRT 1 on his debut and 129.1. TM Mitch, $10 on the second row. Kings and Husky on the third row. Bit of a gap back to Hamilton and Division. Haas drivers 8 and 9, Jet Atom P9, Ultra Titan P10 makes out the top 10. Zampa and Monkey, the best of the guys who are going to get fresh tyres. And we've got a few guys in the chat, 21 people watching. Thank you for all tuning in. Hamilton P7, Craig Conley not so we didn't see where he ended up in the end. Not best pleased with that. And Bonap says Zampa, crit pole, and I think he's quite spot on with that.
It's out.
The audio cuts out. Is it bad, Bone, or is it okay? Let me know.
So,
how we fix that one.
Anyone going to ready up for the host?
Not. I'm just going to.
You're not.
Oh, it's fixed now. Cool. I won't touch anything then. Oh, Bradley Johnson's in the chat. Hello, Bradley. Hope you're all good.
Bradley.
Good to see you, mate.
Bascom, give us a prediction.
Yes. Give us a prediction.
What we thinking?
My prediction is
on the spot
that we're going to get a really, really good battle between the top two. And I don't think I know you made a slightly controversial prediction last week that the top two are going to crash into each other. I don't think that's going to be the case, and Bradley Johnson just mentioned him in chat, but I think we're going to see a really, really good drive from Axe, who isn't on pole. I think he's P16 on the grid, and he's going to carve through the field at some point, but a good opportunity for $10 whole and Payox Kings, P2 and P3 in the championship, to make up some time on the grid. On the championship, sorry, and I'm well aware that I've given you absolutely no predictions there at all. But feel free to give me yours. Who do we? A surprise podium for anyone, perhaps?
It's so there's going to be a few different strategies going on here. It's going to be a good one to watch. Hard to predict, but I've seen a couple of people say that. I think Boss Cookie's gonna DNF, but I hope that's not the case. I don't like to see people DNF. I like to see good battles. So hopefully we're in for some of that.
Yeah, well, Boss Cookie, we're seeing the guys on the way on the formation. That Boss Cookie is currently 42 points behind Axe in the championship, and as we can see, Axe P18 on the grid, Boss Cookie P1, 30 points for a race win round here in SSR. So a win is very much needed for Boss Cookie. And like we said, $10 and Payox Kings P4 and P5, they're currently P2 and 3 respectively in the championship. So if they can have a good result, then again they can close the gap. This is the opportunity, because I don't think we're going to see Axe in P18 in the qualifying too often. Bone wants tyres. If he calls me Harry again, I might have to ban him from chat. Because all love, of course, though. I think that's all good. We can see then on the left hand side, Maxim, I'm not sure if you've seen it as well, all the guys outside the top 10 as predicted, not on the soft tyres or as expected. We've got Moisture on the hards and Axe on the hard tyres, and the rest of the guys on the mediums.
So that would be Maestro and Axe
to start on soft,
lining up a hard to soft there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that possible without a safety car? I mean, the soft tyres are so bad here.
I think Tier 1 last season there were a few people that did soft to hard. If you nurse them, maybe, but who knows? Conditions might be different. I guess we'll see. People coming around the final corners here.
Things getting a little bit frisky between Bradley Johnson and Pineapple Tea in the chat.
Get room.
And 16 guys tuning in for the start of this Tier 1 race. If you are new around here, give us a follow. Check out the website. Join the Discord, especially if you like F2, because people like Pineapple Tea have quit the F2 league because they keep crashing out. So if you're interested in an F2 seat, plenty of them available. And or if you're interested in an F1 seat, we are always looking for reserve drivers, and seats open up all the time around here. And for once, we've got a half decent camera angle. And we're going to see in a minute Boss Cookie lead us away in the racing point. There's actually an Alfa Romeo.
Definitely a pink. It's just a weird lighting. So
do we get through turns 1 and 2 without a safety car?
Long as a piece of string.
We're about to find out. We are going to go to, once everyone's loaded in, 5 red lights. And it all goes very deathly silent for a second. And we're going to wait who's holding us up. And there we go. A couple of red lights on our screen. And we're going to 5 red lights. And we are going to be away for round 6 in China. Mitch, you see in the McLaren, makes a move and then completely disappears. I think he's stalled on the grid, Mitch. Something's happening with him, but it's Boss Cookie and Warman. Warman up the inside, and the AlphaTauri looks like he's got the jump on Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie down to P2. Everyone keeping it pretty clean and behind.
Yeah.
Hamilton up to P6. Mitch has had a big problem. He's still right at the back of the grid. And we see Hamilton spins. Hamilton spins in the racing point. Bit of contact there. Didn't see who with. And let's see any other carnage. Everyone else looks to be facing the right way. And Warman got the jump on Boss Cookie. He leads from $10 in P3 and Kings P4. Husky up to P5.
Yeah, looks like Hamilton got away without any damage there, but he's really going to have to push these softs now, get some quali laps in to catch
It
up
wouldn't
with the pack.
surprise me if we just see him get rid of him early on, but he'll be disappointed. No safety car, no virtual safety car, and that was the only incident. Really not sure what happened to Mitch. We see him 6 seconds off Hamilton at the back. He looked like he made a bit of a jolt at the start, and we have got a yellow flag now as Conley drops down to the back of the grid. Didn't see what happened there, and yeah, we saw Mitch seemed like he got away well and then just didn't move again.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened to him. I'm sure we'll find out after the race at some point. Boss Cookie really close to Warman. We saw that we might have a good race between these two, and they've already edged out a second. $10 whole.
Yep, the pack's staying relatively close together. You do have B-Mars coming into the pits. Back. Yeah, quite a good clean start, I'd say.
Yeah, the two Haas drivers pretty close together. Jet Atom and Division, who's reserving. So you think as a reserve driver he might sort of be a little bit cautious around his teammate, but he is pretty close to the back of Jet Atom. They were very close together in qualifying as well. Going to try and work together to score some points. Zampa up into... We've got a bit of carnage actually between Zampa, Seedy, Stenner involved as well. Ultra Titan just in front of this pack. But we've got a Monkey from Seedy, from Stenner, from Zampa, and Axe pretty close as well. All really close together in this battle for P9.
Yeah, all on these medium tyres, so...
And the Haas drivers are battling. Division has got through on Jet Atom up the inside at the end of Sector 2, and Jet struggling a touch to get that power down towards the back straight.
Boss Cookie
And Ultra Titans jumped him as well.
closing in on Warman, dumping that ERS.
Let's see then.
Outbreaks.
Brakes slightly later. But gets the job done. Didn't take him long to get that lead back.
Yeah. Now time to pull a bit of a gap.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. And we've still got the guys battling in behind, the two Haas drivers and Ultra Titan in the mix for P6, and then the battle for P9 is about 7 cars long. Monkey at the head of that train of the medium runners right now. But everyone other than Hamilton and Mitch got away pretty well. B-Mars has had an incident. He's dropped well down. He's pitted onto the hard tyres, which we missed. Not sure what happened to him there. But he's dropped down. Everyone else got away pretty well, Maxim.
Yeah, it all looked quite clean. No notable incidents, I'd say. I reckon B-Mars, those tyres will be crying out at the end of the race. There's probably another stop in order there, I'd say.
Yeah, as we see Division locks up and right in front of Ultra Titan, who certainly knows how it feels to lock up, and the king of him himself. But Division just about keeps in front. We do have DRS enabled, so Titan's going to grab that in a minute. Also in DRS range is the AlphaTauri of VRT Warman, overtaken by Boss Cookie that previously, but he is going to get DRS in a second. Doesn't look to be draining that ERS too much right now. We've got a yellow flag, and Jet Atom is out of the race. Where's that? That's on the... We're going to see it from Mitch's point of view. Look on the left-hand side of your screen, guys, in a minute.
Yeah, there
and we can see him right in the barrier. Wow, that's impressive.
Turn 13. It's a bit of a killer.
Well. Yeah, that's... I mean, we see a few cars often run wide there, but to get that far into the barrier, I'm not sure if there was contact or not. Like you say, on the exit of turn 13, I mean, if you get on the curb there and the car has disappeared now,
it
if you
did
get
happen.
on the outside curb there,
yeah, it did happen to me last week in the full distance championship. I ended up in pretty much the same space and just got a really nasty snap, and just next thing I knew, in the wall there.
We're seeing Kings jump ahead of Husky. He was ahead last time we checked a couple of laps ago. Husky's obviously got through at some point. Kings gets back through into turn 6, but there's a big gap forming between Kings and $10 between P3 and P4, and 10 struggling also stay in that DRS range of the top two. Are you surprised that Varman's been able to stay relatively close to Boss Cookie so far?
Just looks to be sort of saving that ERS, using that DRS for a tow. just sort of harvesting a bit of energy. I reckon Boss Cookie will pit, Warman will stay out for another lap, dump that energy, and see if you can get a jump on him. That's what I'd say.
Interesting to see how that strategy plays out. Both on the soft tyres, both will probably go medium to the end of the race. We're seeing Stenner approach TTM CD, TTM v TTM right now, and Stenner is going to brake slightly later around the outside of the McLaren, and a bit of contact. And Stenner spins, but I think just about saves it. He does keep it in the right direction, but Axe is right behind him now.
Played it safe there.
Stenner still in that no traction. Look to be, well, brake later than the McLaren. Now Axe is going to have DRS. Stenner covers up the inside, slightly late move. Bit of contact now between the two cars. Axe is going to hang it around the outside of turn 2, and then have the inside for turn 3. And let's see, Stenner's on the outside now. And we've got Zampa looking pretty interested in behind that battle as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be who's going to brake later into turn 6. And they both brake at the same time, which keeps them side by side. And Stenner again has a moment as Zampa's going to get through. He's really struggling on that no traction control. Yeah, I think he's fine, Stenner, on that no traction until he gets himself in a battle, and then he's just a bit keen on the throttle.
Yeah.
And that's when he seems to lose it, from what I can tell, having watched a couple of his races over the last few weeks. And Warman,
Axe has got pace on these hard tyres.
well, he's got pace in general.
Yeah.
To be fair, as we're seeing Warman 5 tenths of a second. Yeah, Bradley Johnson says, how about Axe up 10 places in 5 laps on the hard tyres? Like Maxim points out, Warman slightly too far back for a move on Boss Cookie. Both drivers locking up into turn 14. But yeah, I mean, Axe, we saw this as a potential opportunity for the other guys to make up ground in the championship, and they are still ahead of Axe. But Axe is going to comfortably one stop here. And I mean,
Ultra comes in.
Yeah, early pit stop. Well, actually, it's not too early. Lap 5, so lap 6 now. Axe is going to comfortably one stop here, and I'm not sure these guys have actually got the pace to catch up to these one stoppers, even if they're going to be on those fresh medium tyres.
I mean, I guess we'll see in a few laps' time where the deltas are. The pace is sort of closing in now between soft runners and the medium, so we'll get off them soon.
On that slight crossover, we're seeing Stenner got back through on Zampa some point on lap 5, and then Zampa had a little peek up the inside of turn 2. Stenner shut the door on our fearless leader. And DMT Square follows in the chat, and immediately follows that up with Shut Up Arthur, which will allow, because it's thrown at Arthur. CD picks up our first penalty of the day. Not a track massively known for track limits, but CD manages it within 6 laps. 3-second time penalty for him.
Yeah, looking good in terms of warnings and stuff. Looking quite clean. So Warman's...
Oh, and Varman goes very deep. I'm not sure if Boss Cookie broke slightly early, but Varman definitely broke very late and almost broke in. And you've called it, Maxim.
There we go.
And Warman picks up a penalty, pushing. Boss Cookie goes a lap earlier. Warman tries to push on this next lap, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to hurt him come the end of the race. The rest of the top runners in the pit, so Warman is the only soft runner out on track right now.
Yeah, it's those softs are falling off a cliff, and I'm sure Warman will look to dump some of this energy on that back straight and see how this turns out for him.
Yeah, so Axe up to P4, and he's up 14 places, but actually even more impressively, which we've missed and under the radar, TTM CD up 15 places from P. Disconnecting.
Hello.
I think we're back now. Just a slight controller issue there.
Yeah, that's
which is good. But we are back. You're just talking about the McLaren of TTM CD up 15 positions. Good start from him.
Yeah, rock solid. You know, if you're gonna do something a bit different in terms of strategy, you've got to make up those positions, and he's a big winner at the moment in terms of positions gained, as well as acts. People that haven't done so well. We're looking at Mitch Boskookie. We'll see where he comes up out after these pit stops.
Yeah, so Husky, and actually Husky pitted on some medium tyres a lap earlier than Boskookie went on for hard tyres, and Husky's jumped Boskookie. Boskookie down
Yeah.
P11, and Husky, the leader of the guys who have pitted, as Warman comes in a lap later. Boskookie, we can see all over the back of Husky right now, but Husky has undercut the Racing Point / Alfa Romeo. And let's see where Warman comes out in all of this. It's going to be pretty close. As Boskookie goes for a move around the outside of the Mercedes into turn 1. Great stuff from Boskookie. Gets in front on the harder compound tyres. Showing his pace there. With the DRS of course, but that's pretty impressive. Husky got the move done, and Warman's really lost out because he got that penalty from pushing slightly too hard. And he is down to P11 and he's 1.5 seconds off. So he's cost himself about a second there.
Yeah, and he's now got 10 odd dollars breathing down his neck. It's just spicy all of a sudden. It's open.
Yeah, so who's the favourite right now for you?
My favourite's Boskookie, I'd say.
Yeah,
If you
still
keep
got that
it
pace on the
together.
2-stop.
Yeah, watch those track limits. See,
Yeah,
Warman
Hamilton's had a spin at turn 6. Gets himself going again. Not a great race for him so far. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, Boskookie could go to the end, I guess, on those hard tyres. 20 laps would be pretty close at the end, but could go to the end. As Stenner gets overtaken or has a look on the inside of Axe. We're watching that battle right now. We've got C. Murph in the chat. ABR Murphy, unfortunately not racing. We'd love to see him back racing at some point. But in the chat, hope you're all good, mates. And, yeah, we've got a safety car. What have we missed? I was watching the chat.
Hamilton had a spin
He's
out of turn 10.
missing a front wing.
Lost his front wing, and it has brought out a safety car.
Well, this is huge for the guys who are currently not pitted. But all of those guys are around at the start of turn. They're at sector 1 right now.
The whole of the field has passed pit entry.
Yeah.
So
wow,
we've
the
got
only guys
Division
yeah.
and Mitch coming in for the hards, I presume. To go to the end, yeah.
Yeah, hard tyres will comfortably get to the end under a safety car. This is really, really well timed for the guys that haven't pitted yet. Yeah, well, slightly missed. If it was 30 seconds earlier, it would have been perfect for them. But as you say, they've all passed the pit lane, and I think they are going to get jumped in the pit lane by the guys who've stopped already. But these guys are going to comfortably go to the end.
Everyone has to come in for hards, right? You wouldn't want to look at doing another. I mean, maybe stay out. Yeah, no, hards would be a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
What would you do in this situation?
I mean, if I'd already pitted, I think if I was on the hard tyres and I'd already pitted, like the Boskookie, Warman, you stay out and you could probably get to the end just by saving the tyres for a couple of laps. But Husky on those 3-lap-old mediums, he has to pit right now, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Let's see what these front runners do. Unsurprisingly, Seeds is in, Monkey's in. Are we going to get any double stacks? I think Stenner's going to double stack behind Monkey. Unfortunately for him, almost lose it into the pit lane. If Husky does, Husky's going to get double stacked massively behind Budweiser, the 2 Mercedes drivers. And Varman stays out, as does Boskookie. Craig Conley stays out on 9-lap-old medium tyres.
Committing to his strategy there.
Yeah,
he does do this quite a bit. He has his strat set and will stick with it. And fair play to him. But, hopefully that works out for him.
He loves his data. We've seen some insane spreadsheets in the Discord at times from Craig Conley, all about the tyre pressures and things that I have no chance of understanding. But he stays out. Maybe he just wanted the airtime because we're focused on him right now because he leads the race. But in a net P1, you have to say Boskookie, and it's obviously allowed Warman to catch up that gap. He's on a 1-lap fresher hard tyres, but does have the 3-second time penalty. And interestingly, the
Yeah.
only penalties given out right now are to 3 of the top 6 drivers.
Tasty.
Yeah, that's gonna. So Axe has gone on to the mediums, and that's an interesting one because he started on the hard tyres. He's had to go
Yeah.
on to the mediums, and that's going to be right on the edge of can he take them to the end. I mean, he's going to be rapid for 10 odd laps, but that's going to be pretty close to take them to the end.
I mean, I think we're in for one more lap.
Yeah,
Safety car here. But yeah, it's, it makes it exciting. People committing to different strategies, even with a safety car. We'll have a lot to keep an eye on here.
so who's that benefit right now? Let's have another look at the position changes, and we can see there it's still Axe and Seedsy who lead the way. Seedsy up 11 and Axe up 9. The two guys, as Seedsy has a little bit of a moment there, we can see from Axe's point of view. Possibly on the grass.
Steezy is off.
He's off and then back on. Is he
grass.
lagged out or is he okay? I think he's just having possibly a couple of connections issues there. I didn't see him leave the game, but he looks very laggy right now.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And by the way, Craig Conley up 15, but he does have to pit again at some
He's
point.
on considerably older rubber than everyone else, but maybe he's looking at getting on some softs maybe at some point.
Yeah, so medium tyres, fresh medium tyres, you'd expect to do a maximum of about 15 laps. So under a safety car, you can then probably stretch them to maybe 18 if he's really, really careful. But soft tyres don't do 10 laps around here, do they? Not if I'm driving, that's for sure.
No.
So
but he'll have this clean air, and I'll be interested to see how that works out for him.
Murph in the chat, who I will bow down to all of his knowledge, says that Axe's mediums will explode. And I have to agree. I mean, if safety car comes in this lap, we're still going to have 17 laps to do. And he's going to have to work his way through the field as well. So
maybe he's just looking at getting on the softs.
Yeah, well, he had to go on to mediums because he started on the hards.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what he can do from P9, our championship leader. And the two Renault leading the constructors we should add as well. P7, P9. Second place in the constructors currently is the Ferrari team, who are P4 and P10. Third place, the Red Bulls, who are currently P1 and P5. And we see safety car in this lap. But we know Conley's going to drop down when he has to pit. So all the guys at the top of the constructors are once again today showing us why. And Stenner, the victim of a double stack, down in P18. In fact, I wonder if he had a moment there because he's behind Hamilton and Beamars. So I think Stenner might have spun under the safety car.
Yeah. I agree.
Down massively. Husky's lost out as well in the double stack. He actually was the leader of the one-stoppers until the safety car. He's now down in P14. We're seeing all the guys wind up these tyres.
This is traffic jam here at the hairpin.
Conley's away though, safety car's in the pits, and Conley has decided he's going. Slightly gets a jump on Boss Cookie, he was asleep a touch. Warman's pretty close to P2, Racing Point. We are back underway in China. Everyone pretty clean, everyone pretty not side by side. I'm not sure if everyone was a bit napping there. Didn't expect Conley to go, but it's a clean start.
Really bolted.
He has, he's had a great start.
His tyre temps look a bit high to me from what I can see, just a tad on the high end, and he does look like a car that is struggling, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're seeing him. We had a good start, but Boss Cookie and Warman very much keeping pace with the Red Bull. Sam Cole 420 follows in the chat. Thank you very much for that. We're having a bit of a debate also in the chat about whether Axe can get to the end or not. I think that's what the debate is right now. So keep up any predictions in the chat, guys. Let us know what you think's going to happen. 16 laps to go as Boss Cookie goes a little bit deep there, trying to force his way past Conley. He's going to want to get it done at the end of his hairpin. Bit of battling between Division and Husky at the back of the grid as well. But we're focusing on the Racing Point of Boss Cookie. He's going to uses it. He's not using his ERS, but he's got the slipstream on Craig Conley. Down into the hairpin. Oh, and Conley goes deep. Boss Cookie looks up a touch, but Conley goes very deep. Varman can't make the most of that opportunity. So Conley's crucially got past the Red Bull, and Warman's still stuck behind.
Yep, all clean, and since the restart, I think Axe is gonna really want to make up positions here.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's
just
thinking.
got past Monkey into turn 1. So he's up to P8, just behind his teammate Ultra Titan in the 2 Renaults P7, P8 right now. I wonder if there's any team orders right there. Ultra Titan on the 6-lap old hard tyres. That's going to be tough to get to the end. Axe on the 2-lap old mediums. And Ultra Titan does. He lets him through into turn 6.
Was definitely coordinated there.
Very much so. And I know they do. I'm pretty sure they do party up together. So Ultra Titan lets him through. And that's an interesting one. 6-lap old hard tyres. So they're going to have to do 21 laps in total if he wants to get to the end. So Ultra Titan, another one to watch out for. Varman, or Warman, I'm not sure if he's German or not, but Warman is all over the back of Craig Conley. Can't get through yet. And look at that gap that Boss Cookie is stretched out in front for 1.8 seconds. And it's increasing all the time. That's crucial, that overtake on the last lap.
We've got a nice bit of a train going here. Back straight. I reckon 10 could end up being in a very good position by the end of this.
Yeah, $10 getting the double slipstream off the AlphaTauri and Red Bull, and Conley is falling down the grid. Now he's got his teammate right behind him. Are we going to see some more team orders here? Wouldn't surprise me. And Conley gets out the way the best way he can by diving into the pit lane. I really have to question that one from Conley. I know he does like to stick to his strategy. His Axe has a little peek up the inside of CZ, nothing doing there. But yeah, that's a strange one from Craig. That I mean, he's going to go onto hard tyres right now and do a one stop. He could have had a free pit stop 3 laps ago, as we see a bit of contact between the Renault and the McLaren. But CG stays in front, and we're going to keep an eye on Axe. But yeah, Bone says in the chat, Conley stayed out to avoid double stacking. But we see, I think King's already pitted.
Yeah,
he started on the soft tyres.
why.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. I just think that's a slightly strange one. That, like I said, maybe he wanted the airtime. But other than that, I'm not sure. We're seeing Axboat looking to make his way up through the grid. P6 right now, and CZ just in front, P5.
Yeah, I'm just having a little scroll all the way through the grid, and Husky on the mediums here, coming up behind Zampa at P10. We'll definitely want to get this move done and try and gain those positions using the advantage on the rubber here.
Yeah, Axe using the DRS to his advantage, as I'm sure Husky will in a minute as well. Axe is well past the McLaren before the braking zone, and actually it's going to allow CZ to have a little look, but he can't get that done. And let's see, and Husky's done the same, well clear of his Ferrari rival before the braking zone, and both of those guys make pretty clean overtakes, but not so clean from Division and Budweiser. No contact, but Division look to make the move up into the hairpin. Budweiser gets him back, and that's an interesting little battle there. Both of the guys on the hard tyres, as B-Mars gets a bit out of shape behind in the Alfa Romeo. But Axe is making progress. P9 at the end of a safety car, P5 on lap 15.
So we got, someone's just left.
Yeah, Tito Mitch in the pit lane.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened to him at the start, but it's not been great since then.
It's been one to forget, I'd say.
And interestingly, Varman or Warman, I'm pretty sure it's Warman, but we'll find out at some point. Is sort of maintained that gap since he's got past Conley. But the interesting one for me is $10 has maintained and stayed in DRS range of the AlphaTauri. 10 showing pretty good pace right now, and he's going to get DRS in a moment. He's looking good for a podium.
Oof. Just on board with Stenner. His car's looking a bit of a handful. Just the traction control, but I really respect the commitment. I think I mentioned it before, but the commitment from Stenner to use less assists, and get better in the long run, so it's good.
Yeah, we're seeing Husky's got through on Maestro up in the P9 in the Mercedes. In the DRS range, we'll come back to Stenner in a moment. Just looks like everyone's getting through turn 1 pretty comfortably. Axe is gaining on Payox Kings though on those medium tyres, and I have to agree with Murph. I think that's going to be a struggle to get through to the end, as Arthur keeps trying to break the moderation rules in the chat, but I will constantly deny that. And Russ,
Arthur,
we
go
get
to bed.
another host from Russ616, a constant host of the stream. Thank you very much, Russ. Hope you had a good stream yourself if you were streaming, and thank you for that. But yeah, on Stenner, we've already said, haven't we? He was very, very quick in Tier 2, deservedly promoted to Tier 1, and he's just had a bit of a struggle. And really, Ultra Titan and $10 have made a really good start to the season. Maestro and Stenner have struggled a little bit more. I'm not sure if that's down purely to their pace. I think Maestro, as we said, got the late call up. Stenner's trying something different with a no traction control, and I mean, listen, I've tried no traction control on occasion in time trial, and there's a reason why I've never tried it in a race.
Yeah.
And I think is Stenner still on pad?
Hamilton, yep, Stenner's on pad.
Yeah.
Hamilton is around. Just at the start of that straight. He's had a bit of a mare.
Yeah, he's had a couple of weeks out. I think his wheel, we're going to see Axe into turn 1, breezes past Payox Kings. He's up the P4. What a race the Renault driver and our championship leader is having. Up into P4, and he's got his sights on $10 as well. But can he one stop? That is the question for Axe. He's burning these tyres up, getting through the field. Can he get into the end of a race? That is the question.
Around.
Husky's around. Crash from Husky. And yeah, we see him.
Questionable rejoin.
What was it? Yeah, and lucky. I see that we're back to ghosting off in ghosting on, sorry, in Tier 1. Fortunately so, because Husky didn't quite catch the rejoin, but has dropped down to P13 after making some progress. And we've got another host, a raid from Kier95, 9 viewers he's raiding with. Thanks everyone for joining from Kier. Kier, thanks for the raid. Another person who raids us constantly, so we thank him for that. Guys, welcome to China, round 6 of Tier 1. We are 17 laps into a 28 lap race, and it's pretty close at the top, and it's pretty close between Axe and $10 as Axe up the inside gets it done into the hairpin, up to
That's
P3
lovely.
now for Axe. Brilliant
That's
race.
really nice.
Yeah, he's flying. He is flying on the medium tyres.
It's just, is he just gonna be taking out a bit too much life from them? This could come back to bite him. And I reckon that third podium spot is really up for grabs from anyone in the top 10 or even lower.
Yeah, that 3-second time penalty for Warman, Kings and CD could come back to bite him, because it's so close between those top guys. 2 seconds. Warman is quite comfortably staying in range of Boss Cookie, but he cannot close that gap, and with that 3-second penalty he's going to drop down the order as it stands. Is it between Axe and Boss Cookie right now, do you think, for the win?
I mean, I'm not too sure how these tyres are going to match up towards the end. As I said, I think Boss Cookie right now, he'll have his head down, won't want to make mistakes. He looks like he's managing his ERS okay, and just trying to manage that gap. As long as you keep it above a second, I think you'll be safe.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me as well is that Boss Cookie is going to have to do 20 laps on the hard tyres. Now, admittedly, a couple of those laps were under safety car conditions.
Yeah.
So he should be okay, but they're going to be struggling at the end as well. We saw in F2 last night, for anyone who didn't tune in for F2 in the feature race, and Maxim, you were a prime viewer of this, we saw 3 drivers get punctures on the last lap, which caused absolute carnage. Was great for the stream, and great for you because you got yourself a podium from it. But
Absolutely gifted a podium.
yeah, so I mean, if we see something like that, that would be crazy. And Division's got past Zampa into the hairpin. Zampa's going to come back past Division into turn 1, battle for the 10th place. I would say it's the last points position, but actually points down to P12 and SSR. Both these guys in the points at the minute, but racing very, very well as Division gets back through. And,
what an exit.
yeah, did well. I mean, both these guys are fantastic racers. Give a lot of respect for each other. As Zampa goes straight into the side of Division into turn 6. We'll move
These
away.
guys, yeah, they're using a lot of ERS, enjoying their battle.
Yeah, Monkey keeping Ultra Titan pretty honest as well for P7. He's on 4 lap pressure hard tyres, so I think we'll see Monkey continue to close that gap up as well. He's in DRS range. Hamilton's on a bit of a time trial fest right now. He switched on to this soft tyres and just put in the fastest lap of the race. And there is in SSR this season a fastest lap competition in each tier. I think it's a €15 or £1 gift card.
Yep,
For whoever gets the most fastest laps in a tier. And obviously, as an experienced commentator, I've got the information on who's got the most fastest laps right now. I'm definitely not stalling. But I think we've got 5 different fastest lap holders. Sorry, no, Axe with 2 currently leads the way in tier 1, and Murphy, who's not racing anymore, Stenner and $10 all have 1 fastest lap. So that's why we'll see at the end maybe a few guys stick on the soft tyres at the back of the grid and go for that fastest lap, like we've seen Hamilton do right now. But what's our closest battle right now? Still Monkey and Ultra Titan. And Bradley Johnson's in the chat, and he says that Axe will catch Warman, which he is doing, but his tyres will drop off and won't catch Cookie. I think that's a pretty sensible prediction.
I'm really curious as to why that word is banned.
Which one's that?
Warman.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Hopefully we don't...
Well, he said, Boss Cookie said that Warman would murder Boss Cookie. And I assumed that murder was the word that was in question there. And turns out it wasn't. But that was Ban Apetit's prediction at the start of the race, that Warman would murder Boss Cookie. And he did murder him off the line. He had a fantastic getaway in the AlphaTauri. Boss Cookie back through on lap 2 and has had that lead pretty much ever since. But yeah, we're pretty much as you are right now. Watching Monkey and Ultra Titan.
Quite a few gaps for me. Not much in terms of DRS action here.
Yeah,
but
we've
it
just
might,
seen
might close
Husky make
towards
up
the
that
end.
spin. Gets back past Zampa, the same move he did about 7 laps ago. Up into the last points position. Zampa's struggling right now because Beamar's jumped him as well at some point. So Zampa just dropping down the field a little bit. Stenner looking to make up some time. But yeah, at the top it's the gaps are there, but the gaps are small enough that the guys like Kings and Warmer with those 3-second time penalties are going to be looking over their shoulder. And actually, Seedsy's got a 6-second time penalty, which is going to currently drop him back down to about P9. So these time penalties are going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's quite a big hit. Just on board with Axe, and it doesn't look to be struggling. Those 10-lap old mediums. Still quite a few more laps to go, and these lockups won't be helping him.
Yeah, Murph says he's going to have to start managing his tyres, and he's going to be aided in that if he can sneak into the DRS zone, because that will allow him just to ease off slightly into the few corners around here, isn't it? There into turn 1, he can ease off slightly because he'll be pretty close to the back of that AlphaTauri. He was just in DRS range down to the hairpin, so he gains a couple of attempts and he's going to get DRS again. We've got a yellow flag. Beamars is round, and Beamars is in big trouble on the inside of turn 13. Doesn't DNF because he's rejoined the track and gets back on track, but Beamars off at turn 13.
Very heavy front wing damage.
He's going to have to make his way back to the pit lane. We're seeing go a little bit deep into the hairpin. But yeah, Axe is quicker than Warman right now, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
predicting in the chat he's going to be struggling on those tyres very soon. What's he done? Let's have a look on those tyres. 11 laps. So I think he's got 3 or 4 more laps and he's okay. I think the last 3 laps are going to be a big struggle for him. There's B-Miles with tyres in the pit lane.
It's a shame.
Well, we did
So
say
we
he was a
have-
very consistent and clean driver at the start of the race, so he was never going to make it to the end.
Maestro, and that's a new gamer tag, Maestro, I think.
Yes, the SSR Maestro.
It's nice and clean. Maestro and Husky on these mediums as well, both committing to seems like similar strategy. So I'm just going to keep an eye on all these guys and how they're doing. It's coming up on Wyman.
Yeah, good
That's
call.
a breeze past there.
Yeah, Wyman doesn't make that difficult at all, does him? And that gap, as Axe gets up in the P2, is 2.6 seconds to Boss Cookie. He's on the softer compounder tyres. He's got 6 laps to make up that gap, but he's got to manage the tyres at the same time. So that's going to be interesting to see what sort of times Axe can start putting in. He's got 6 laps to get that gap down. What a
Maybe
race he's had.
I think Wyman's thinking here, if I can use Axe's pace advantage for a bit of a tow, give me some DRS, harvest a bit of energy, build a 3-second gap to 10 whole dollars and possibly hold on to that podium.
Yeah, great call, because that gap currently 2.9. He's edged that out over the last few laps, and if he can keep penalty free for the rest of the race, he's looking good for a podium. $1,000 though, I don't think he'll be too disappointed with P4. He's been super consistent so far this season. But let's see, Axe has already taken a couple of attempts out of Boss Cookie. He's going to have to do more than that over the next few laps. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Hamilton. Is into the pit lane. Is he going for new soft tyres for another fastest lap maybe? Or is he going to call it quits? He's going to call it quits. He's got his fastest lap. And that's all that matters. Do you get fastest lap
Take
for
him
your
out
tyre?
of that. I think that would take him out of that.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Boss-
I'll have to read the small
Sorry,
print for that.
Axe's fastest lap is about a second quicker than anyone else's right now.
Wow.
Other than Hamilton's, who currently has it with a DNF. So we'll have to see at the end of the race if that counts. Wonder if anyone else will get onto the soft tyres at the end, as Maestro and Division battling right now into the hairpin, and Maestro's going to send it up the inside. Bit of contact with Division's front right and
Husky
Maestro's rear
says
left.
thank you very much.
Yeah, doesn't he just?
Elbows out there from Division.
Bit of inside information from DMNT Square. He says Axe's tyres are apparently about 45%. If that's true, then that is fantastic tyre management. But he doesn't. I'm not sure about that because he doesn't seem to be eating into that lead of Boss Cookie at all. So I wonder if he is now having to manage those tyres.
45?
Apparently, yeah.
Surely not.
I'm not sure if that's a guess or insider information from
Surely
DMNT
not.
Square. I mean, it would be unbelievably is. We'll have to
That'd
ask
be
him,
miraculous.
wouldn't
It's
it?
like
Just.
Checo Perez sort of level.
Yeah. What do we want right now? We've got leader. We don't want that. There we go.
So Wyman's got that 3-second gap now to $10. So as of now, that podium is staying the same. Just if he can maintain that gap.
Yeah. Look how much that gap is building between Boss Cookie and Axo, and Wyman's going to have DRS, which is helping him build that gap. It's also helping him have a little look at Axe, and Axe locks up again. I think Axe is struggling here. He's not at all closing that gap, and the gap's actually getting bigger. The first, I think he's settling for second place here, Axe, right now.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be bad from P18.
Oh, not at all. I just think that the 45% info is a bit dodgy.
Wow, but he's claiming insider information. I mean, there is still 4 laps left, so we'll have to see. I mean, currently on 14 laps. I'd expect after 14 laps the medium tyres to be on about 65%, but that's with my tyre management. So maybe he's not too far off. Let's find out at the end of the race. He is for certain though dropping off from Boss Cookie. He's having to manage his tyres right now. The other gap is with Monkey and Ultra Titan. Monkey's been within a second for a long time now. Ultra Titan on 18 lap old hard tyres. You have to manage them to the end of the race. Monkey's going to be eyeing up that P7 for sure. As Zampa pits onto a soft tyre, so let's keep an eye on him as well. He's looking for that fastest lap of the race down in P15.
Wants that gift card.
He does. The Craft not Cocky, that's weird. The Craft Coffee gift card, I believe sponsored by our fantastic coffee sponsors. And we've got lots of sponsors that I know very little about, but I think they're on the screen somewhere at the top of your screen. CD Key, Sundeli Subs, Meister Soda, our lovely spreadsheet man, Craft Coffee Club, and Rogue Energy. All sponsor the stream and the league, so thanks very much to them. Check them all out in the links that are somewhere. As you know, as you can tell, I'm very professional at this, and Warman we're seeing get a little bit deep into turn 1 up the inside, but he's only 4 tenths behind Axe, and that 3-second time penalty really costing him right now.
So, Kings has sort of pulled some mad pace from somewhere. $10 has a bit of a half spin. Kings is pushing. He is really pushing. He's got some life here in these tyres. He's just gonna extract.
Yeah, another driver just being punished for that 3-second time penalty though. Because if he didn't have any penalties right now, this would be a fantastic battle for P4. But even if he gets through, it's 10's going to take it. Stenner gets past Maestro, I think, and we're seeing them share the same part of the track for turn 7. Stenner up the inside, gets into 11th. This is a battle for 2 points or 1 point. And Stenner up through. I think Maestro slightly struggling on those 15 lap old mediums. Husky also on the 15 lap old mediums. Is 1.5 seconds behind Titan. Oh, and Monkey's got through on Titan. We followed him for about 10 laps, and at the moment we don't follow him. He gets through, and and Kings has a little look at $10. Looks like he went up the inside, and $10 is having a break really early, and that causes Kings a problem into the final corner. But Kings went for a move, and $10 went for the classic switchback. Gets back through. We've got 2 laps to go here in China. It's flown by.
Yeah, it has. This 10 and Kings battling here just increases that gap to Warman, and as time goes on, this podium looking like it's going to stay the same.
Yep, looking good for these guys right now. Boss Cookie started from pole, and he looks like he's going to win from pole for the 2nd time this season. Warman on his debut started P2, jumped Boss Cookie on the line up in the P1, but that was taken back from him as Warman gets on the inside of that curb and has to back out of that. But he backed down to P2 and looked like he was on a solid one-stop strategy under the safety car, but he's been caught out by Axe's medium tyres, and Axe for sure has benefited from that safety car. All the one-stoppers, or the guys that started on the soft tyres I should say, or sorry, didn't start on the soft tyres, benefited from that well-timed safety car. But Axe up in the P2, he's looked very good in the race after a bad qualifying. And Kings is going to have another look up the inside of 10. He's going to send it again. Bit of contact as 10 doesn't really want to let Kings through, but Kings forces his way through with a lap to go. And he's got 1 lap to make up 3 seconds for that time penalty. But he was going to want to get through on track. Zampa gets another time penalty. He's pushing for that fastest lap, but I don't think he's managed to get it yet. And Warman's still gone.
I'm just on board with Zampa, and he is pushing. He's got very little ERS left. Where else? What we got? Vision. The gearbox of Husky.
Just keeping an eye on that. Doesn't look like Wild Division's got a time penalty, so that's not going to matter too much. But fair play to Maestro, Husky and Axe. They've got on these medium tyres. It's going to be 18 laps when they cross the line. So it'll be interesting to find out from Axe just how rough they were. As Merce pointed out, he's backed out from the P1 fight, but from P18 on the grid, it was very much damage limitation, and he has limited that damage massively with a P2. Only going to drop points to Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie, though, has driven a fantastic race. Apart from the start, he got past Warman back for P1 on lap 2, and since then it has been pretty much flawless. Penalty free for Boss Cookie, and he's going to come round the final corner, and he is going to win in the Racing Point / Alfa Romeo in China. Boss Cookie's your winner. Axe from P18 is P2, and Warman on his debut is P3. Great driving from your top 3 drivers. Kings takes P4 on track. $10 jumps on penalties. CD P6 on track, but does have at least 6 seconds of penalties. So is Monkey going to jump him? Yes, he does. P6 for Monkey in the Williams. McLaren P7, Ultra Titan P8, but he's jumped by Husky. And all changed with the penalties as we predicted. Division takes 10th. Stenner does get a couple of points, doubles his points tally for the season in P11. Maestro comes home in P12 to round off the points, and all eyes now on Zampa, who doesn't look like he's particularly pushing for the fastest lap in the end. And actually he's going to go for the donuts in the Ferrari. So let's enjoy the Zampa donuts to finish what has been a wonderful Tier 1 race. Maxim, how do you find that one?
Just good solid racing. Just so clean. It's clean as a whistle. Looking at, I mean, I looked on the race director. There's really not a whole lot to see, and it's what we'd expect from Tier 1. Good attendance.
I can see why all the other commentators want the Tier 2 and Tier 3 races, because that's
the EMU moments.
That's where all the EMU moments happen. And I'm sure, guys, if you are watching right now, we are back tomorrow in Russia. And if you want to see some EMU moments, you will get some, because both me and Maxim are racing in Tier 2, joined by a few of the guys who are in the chat. Bone Apple T will be there, Arthur will be there. And it's going to be a fun one in Russia, and we're going to see a new winner, because Cool Kygor is not racing tomorrow, unfortunately. So tune in tomorrow as Zampa spins it and doesn't actually make the finish line after all of that. So we're going to speak to the top 3 in a minute. But yeah, tune in tomorrow, 11 o'clock for Russia Tier 2, and Tier 3 is at a track that I have no idea on Sunday. Which is annoying. I checked it yesterday, I can't remember. But Sunday, 11 o'clock, tomorrow, 11 o'clock, and let's to the top 3 in a minute. We'll get them in the party in a second.
Wow.
Our drive today, so
I'm just wow, that's madness. The hards at the end for Warman were at 60%, so I don't believe for 1 second the Axis mediums were at 45.
Well, we'll find out from him. That was obviously still 6 odd laps to go. And Boss Cookie's in. And we'll just speak to the top 3 today, because, like we said, Axe was also driver of the day. If they don't join, we'll get $10 in as well, maybe. Let's see, Boss Cookie's in, and Warman's in. Does Axe normally join? Did he join last week? I think he did, didn't he?
I don't think so. Axe has just said that his tyres were at 75% across the line.
Okay, well, if he's not joining. Oh, Axe is in. Cool, we can speak to the then. Cool, guys, make sure you have ticked the box.
Yep.
We have. Is everyone all good?
Yep. Yes.
Lovely. Warman, first question to you, P3. How do I pronounce your name? Because I've been changing it all evening. Just clarify that for me.
Warman.
Wow, there we go. Pretty much. I went German at one point with Warman. It is German. Talk us through your race. Jumped Boss Cookie on the start up 1, and then obviously he you back, and then for the race it was a bit of a battle with. Just talk us through your debut in S.
It was. I was struggling to pace up. It was fast. So we had such similar pace, but suddenly got stuck behind another driver. So I sort of just stayed away from his DRS the entire race. Yeah, it was pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, certainly for a debut, very, very good pace. Axe P2, first of all, congratulations on that drive, starting from P18. Just talk us
Thank
through
you.
qualifying to start with, because obviously a bit of a surprise to see you down there. We saw you have a bit of a spin at the end there in qualifying.
Yeah, I did my banker with no ERS and no fuel mix, just so I had like
Well,
a
that's
delta
just
to
fair
look
enough.
for. And I planned on doing mediums. Was gonna try and do 2 laps at the end, and yeah, first I had the spin, and then because of the spin, I didn't get to the line in time, so I had to start the back.
Yeah, no, I mean, we said that it was going to be pretty interesting watching you come through the field. Safety car was certainly well timed, but there was a lot of talk in the chat about whether you could get those mediums to the end of a race. How were those medium tyres at the end of the race for you?
They felt awful, but they were only at 75% on the worst one, so I did good saving them. And yeah, if it was an ideal scenario, I would have been able to pit like 4 or 5 laps later than when I had to, but just got them to the end anyway. So I don't think I could have gotten Cookie anyway if I had the fresher tires. So I think still got the maximum out today.
Yeah, I mean, we said it in the stream, it was a bit of damage limitation from P18. You certainly did that, getting all the way up into P2, and obviously couldn't catch Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie pretty flawless other than the start today. I mean, just talk us through that pace. What a lap at qualifying. 128.8, I think, wasn't it, early on there?
Yeah, I was actually 2 tenths up on that, but I fucked up my last sector. I kind of figured that my banker lap would have been my quickest lap in qualifying, because that's how it happens typically. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'll never do a perfect lap. I'll do a good lap, and then, but yeah, the race was good. I don't know what kind of drugs Lyman was putting into his tires at the start, but he was able to just grip past me in turn 1. But yeah, I dumped a lot of ERS to get back past him, and then I just kind of managed the rest of the race. I knew Conley was going to be kind of key in getting this added DRS gap I wanted on Norman. But one thing I've realized during this race, I don't get what I'm doing wrong with tire saving, because I'm like 15% higher than anyone else was on the hards. I was on like 79% crossing the line. But yeah, it was a good race. I did some push laps, and then I did some kind of conservative laps at the end of the stint.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty flawless from you. And obviously the start off the line. I mean, if you're struggling with tyre wear, I feel sorry for the other guys when you figure that out, because your pace is pretty good anyway. But hopefully we can see some more battles between this top 3 to come. Do we know when next week is? Does anyone know? Let's have a quick look. We're not sure when next week is, but we'll be back for round 7 next week. Guys, thank you very much for tuning into the stream. Max, have anything to add?
No, that was good to watch. It was good fun.
It was good fun.
Just good, fast, clean, how we like it.
Yeah, always expected from Tier 1. Guys, tune in tomorrow for the opposite with Tier 2. I'm no joking. We should have a good race in Russia tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you later.